purpose of this video is to demonstrate how to operate track wrestling's Matside scoring system when running an electronic tournament. Specifically, this video focuses on scoring a freestyle match in an individual tournament. The screen you're looking at right now is the first screen you will see after someone logs you into the system. You would select the mat that you're going to be on and click on the search button. And the system will retrieve a list of the matches that have been assigned to your mat, with the first match you should wrestle being listed on top. So I would click on this first match and the system will load it up for me. Notice at the top of the screen it shows you who is on deck and who's in the hole. That way, while you're scoring the current match, someone can walk up from behind and see when they're going to be up in this list. Notice the go time listed here. These two wrestlers can wrestle anytime, but that's just because it's their first match of the day, and normally it would list a timestamp of when they could wrestle. And the system would actually prompt you if you tried to load the match and wrestle it before they were supposed to wrestle. You'll also notice the colors. There's a color drop down box here. Jared is currently red and Jay is blue. However, I could switch that simply by changing Jared to blue, and it would switch both of them. So I'm going to switch it back, but you can switch it if you need to. Your clock is listed here. I can start the clock by clicking on the start button, and notice the background color turns green to indicate that I've started the clock and it is running. I can also click on the stop button to stop the clock, and the background color would turn red. There's keyboard shortcuts that can be used to start and stop the clock as well. Within Firefox, you would use the down arrow to start the clock, and if you hit the down arrow while the clock is running, that will stop the clock. The same is true in Internet Explorer. There's a shortcut key. It is the tilde key, which is up next to the number 1 key. If I press the tilde key in Internet Explorer, that will start your clock, and if the clock is running and you press it again, that will stop your clock. So I'm going to let this clock run, and then you click on what's happening in the match. So for example, if Jared scored a 2-point move, I would click +2. The score would be updated and it would log what happened and the time of when it happened. Let's say Jay now gets a 3-point move, and then Jared gets another 2-point move. I'm simply clicking on what's happening. What's happening is showing up in the middle, and if I would like to change anything that I clicked on, I can simply click on it. So for example, if this 2-point move was really supposed to be a 3-point move, I can click on the 2-point move, and the system will ask me how I want to handle the situation. Do I want to delete an entry? Do I want to change it, insert something above it, or cancel? And in this case I want to change it, so I click change, and then I click on what I want to change it to. So it was supposed to be a 3-point move, so I change it now to a 3-point move. So the clock is running. I'm going to go ahead and stop it and just wind it all the way down to 0 to simulate getting to the end of the period. And when the period is over, I use these boxes here to indicate who won the period. So in this case, red won this period, so I'm going to click on the red box for red, and then I can go from the period 1, I can click next to go to the next period. It will reset everything for me, and I can start and stop the clock using my buttons again. So let's say I start the clock in the second period, and something happens and there's blood time. So I stop the clock, and let's say that red has some blood time. I would click set on the clock that I want to run, so I hit set on the blood time, and the system highlights the blood time so I know that that's the clock I'm running, and then I can start it. Again, you can use your keyboard shortcuts to run the clock once you have the focus on it. So I run the blood time until it's done. I stop the blood time. When I want to go back to the actual clock, the match clock, I would hit set on the match clock, and then I can start the clock. Let's assume that I run this clock all the way down in the second period, and there's been a 0, still 0-0, so we have to go to the clinch. The clinch time is listed right below the clock time, so I would hit set on the clinch clock, which would sets us to 30 seconds. And let's also pick who gets to take the leg in freestyle. So let's say that red won the flip or the ball grab or whatever it is that they've done, and red gets to take the leg, I can click on clinch for red so we know red got to take the leg. Or if blue got to take the leg, I would click clinch for blue. I start my clock, they go through the scoring, they figure out who won, I stop the clock. Let's say that red scored, I would hit +1 for red, and I would indicate that red won the second period. I'm actually going to switch this. So I'm going to say that blue won this period, so we have a third period in this demo. So I'm going to take that away from red. I'm going to say red did not score that point. And I'm going to say that blue scored the point. And then I'm going to give the second period to blue. So the second period going to blue means I click on the box in the second period. So notice if I would click the box in the second period for red, that took away blue's period, because only one wrestler can win a period. So if I click the second period going to blue, it takes it away from red, and now each of these wrestlers has won a period. So now I'm going to go to the third period to decide the match. So we're in the third period, and we start the time. Let's say that red scores a 2-point move and puts blue on his back and pins him. So I'm going to stop the clock. Regardless of how the match ends, actually I'm gonna point one thing out before I go to the result. So let's say that a bunch of things have happened in this match, and the referee walks over and wants to see the bout sheet for this match. And rather than looking at just the third period, he wants to see the whole bout sheet. The easiest way to do this is to click on Summary in the left menu, and it will display a summary of what's happened in the match. So in period 1, red got 2, the times are all listed. Blue got 3, red got 3, and basically it summarizes what's happened in the match. To go back to the match, you simply click Match in the left menu, and it takes you right back to where you were in the match. And now let's say that I want to comment on what's happened. Let's say that somebody at the end of this match got unsportsmanlike conduct. Any comments I put in this comments box are also added to the bout sheet. So unsportsmanlike conduct on J, that gets added to the bout sheet, and it's basically part of the electronic record for this bout. So now this match is over, and we're going to always click on Result in the left menu when the match is over. So regardless of how it ends, whether it's a pin, a tech fall, a decision, whatever it is, when the match is over, we always click Result in the left menu. The system will try its best to pick the winner and the win type whenever it can. So in this case, it thinks Jared won the match. You always want to verify this, so you want to have the winning wrestler walk over, show them the computer screen, and verify that they are in fact the winner. If it was wrong and J was the winner, I would simply click on J, and it would highlight J as the winner. I'm going to leave it as Jared, and then you select the win type. So in some situations, the system will guess at the win type. In situations where it doesn't know the win type, you have to select it. Either way, you should always double check this. So let's say that this was a fall. The system fills in what's happened. So in period 1 it was 5-3, period 2 is 0-1, and then it looks like a fall in 10 seconds because that's how much time was left on the clock. So you verify all that, you verify the match end time, and once everything has been double checked, you click on the Save Result button. When you save the result, the system logs everything, takes you back to your matches screen, and the match at the top is the one that you would wrestle next. So you would simply click on it and score the match just like we scored the previous match. Some tournaments utilize our mat chat system. Our mat chat system allows you to communicate with the head table, assuming that someone at the head table has the chat system open and can read what you're trying to tell them. So if someone at the head table does have the chat open, you could, rather than going to the head table to have someone called to your mat, you could simply use the chat to do this. So let's say John Becker didn't show up. I can click on chat in the left menu and type in a message that says, please call John to mat 2. In which case the head table would get this message and call him to mat 2 for you. Another rare but possible situation would be if you lost your connection to the head table or to the internet and you weren't able to load the matches that were supposed to be on your match. So you tried to click on matches in the left menu and this page didn't come back. Again, this is rare but could happen. You could continue wrestling by clicking on history in the left menu and it will and then clicking on matches, and it will show you the most recent list of matches that it was able to retrieve that are assigned to your mat, and you could continue wrestling these matches while you send someone to the head table for someone to come back and help you restore your connection. So that's it for this demo. Again, this was a demo of scoring a freestyle match in an individual tournament.